welcome to Lovecraft with Cass. I am Cass, and welcome to my craft table. I thought I'd bring you along for a little slow stitching project. I know I have paper in front of me, but trust the process. So I love doing origami. Have done for since I discovered it when I was a kid. So obviously when I had kids, I taught them the origami things, and the two things I remember like I could do blindfolded are cranes and this type of butterfly. Now I believe there are many different types of folded origami butterflies you can do, but I was when I was in the UK, which was a while ago now, which makes me sad to think about it, but when I was visiting some lovely friends of mine, Catherine and Annie, I like at night when I was in my accommodation and just chilling down from the day of being a tourist and whatever, I love doing slow stitching, and I had just finished a huge big project, so I was doing just little bitty ones and managed to make a slow stitched version of this origami butterfly. So yes, this one I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm taking a bit of a shortcut. I got these lovely Cantha pieces when I was at the bazaar event with Annie and the Bonkers crew, which just were all the most amazingly beautiful people. I made a origami butterfly for both Catherine and Annie, and I did that just with 2 pieces of fabric, just like running stitch together. I think I left the edges raw, so I mean it's up to you how stitched in and how done your pieces of fabrics are. I kind of like simple. I was thinking of doing some more like really solidly embellished ones with sequins and stuff for Christmas tree decorations, but I haven't started those yet. But I just wanted to have a go. I was like looking through one of my bags, and I found this little bundle of Cantha pieces that I got at the bazaar event, and I just was like, oh my gosh, that would work for the butterfly. So up to you how much you want to embellish. I just go easy on how dense you make your fabric. So because you need to fold it, you need to do origami with it. So as long as you can fold it and get kind of creases and then fold it again like that, go nuts with however you want to do it. So I thought I would show you how to do it with paper first, and just show you how easy it is. Now with, oh, that's really nice and stiff. I might use this side though, because it might be a bit too stiff. So muttering to myself. So thank you for joining me today, wherever you're from. When it comes to the rectangle, of course with traditional origami, there's probably measurements and like what size the rectangle is. Now I have personally found that you can pretty much do any kind of rectangle. It will change the shape of your butterfly. So the longer it is, if from memory, it will be kind of more short this way and long this way. I tend to go for one that's, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't really do the whole measuring thing unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, I kind of just make it rectangle. And if I find it's not working, I'll unfold it and rip it back again. So it might be worth you making a paper one and then seeing how, if you like how it looks. I mean, I was just doing practice one to remember how to do it before I started the video. So this is just a scrap of copy paper I ripped off the bottom of a thing I printed. So this one is, have I made, this one's a little bit bigger. So it'll be good to show you how different it looks with that extra, it almost looks like an inch white, an inch, half an inch, extra half an inch along the bottom. So yeah, I'll put that back together in a minute. So I thought I would show you, I'll go back to this side so it's not so glary. So paper, so did I finish my point? Yeah, so do one in paper and then you can use it as the template for your material, and you can mess around with all different sizes, lengths, like heights of the rectangles to just get different things. I don't know. I've been making this for a while, so I genuinely not sure if there is a absolute measurement you need to follow. I know with the crane it's a square and you can do it any size square. So what we want to do is get your rectangle, you're going to fold it, nice crease, fold it again so you're in quarters now. So now what we're going to do is get the edges like so, and what you want to do is get this folded corner here and push it down along this line in here. So donk, 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 and you need to make sure that the line goes up the fold and the point of this triangle is hitting the corner of this folded area. Okay, so then you put your creases in like so, and then we want to do it to the other side. So the easiest way to do that, especially with paper, is bring this over and fold it that side so you've got good creases on the other side. So you should have a triangle with on top of flat bit. I don't know. That's the best I can describe it. So we're doing the exact same thing again. We're bringing this bit down to the folded line. Match up your lines best you can. And unless, you know, you have to have absolute precision, I don't think it matters if you're a little bit wonky or a little bit out. But that's just me. So we have this shape. So you should have two flippy flappy legs. So it's a little triangle on legs. See? Okay. Put the legs up in the air like so. And then what we want to do is that I just remember we're going to bring this side down like so. Now you don't actually want to fold this side of the triangle while you're folding this side. So you want to, you can bring it down as much as you want. Like, my rule of thumb is I fold it to that piece of paper line there, fold that bit down there, and then where that sits, then you squish that down, and your fold line here should carry along with folding the leg, if that makes sense. So there's the leg, and then if we go like this and we push that in, that should be a line from there across that folded leg bit, and there's your wing. There's your first wing. So, and then this is a really simple one. This is why it translates really, really well to making it with a piece of slow stitch cloth, which I was really excited about. And so then you fold the other side. So again, grabbing the top of the leg and matching that folded line with the fold line in here. And if you do that, you now have a butterfly. Now you can see mine are, I've somehow managed to make them a bit different. See, they're a bit different. Am I bothered? Not really. How would I fix that if people want to troubleshoot? So how you would fix that is bring this fold in here a little bit down and push the middle a little bit over. Now the fold should still be able to follow the line. There we go. So that matches up a little bit more. So yeah, troubleshooting folding paper, yay. So there you go. So that's what we're going to do now with cloth. And so now we can stitch into it. And I just realized I grabbed my bundle of cantha pieces to do, but I did not get any thread or needle ready. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. So I've got my thread and I reassembled my other butterfly. So I thought I would pull this apart. So I keep going off shot. But it's pretty much that easy. And I'm actually going to level this one off a bit because there's some lumpy bits in this edge here. So I think that used to be a hem. So for those who don't know, Bazaar actually sell packs of fabrics that have been reclaimed from the textile industry and saved from landfill. So when I was in the UK, they had a summer festival-y thing in the Prairie Gardens in Sussex, and that's where I went and visited, and he had a slow stitching corner to make a community project blanket called the Bonkers Quilt, and I got to meet some amazing people and it was fabulous. And so yeah, while I was there I bought some packs of reclaimed fabric. So these are the just little cantha pieces, so they've been cut off other things. So I am just going to tidy these edges up so we get like a nice kind of even winged butterfly. And so we're just gonna snip. As you can see, I just pinned my paper, and it's like just randomly. I mean, you saw me to the paper. I wasn't even paying attention to how big it was or anything, but it's managed to be exactly perfect for this particular piece of cantha quilt. So I'm really excited about that. So I will keep these bits and I will use them in little material collages. So that's a bit of a lump to get through. There we go. So it doesn't need to be precisely perfect. Not really for this. If you want it to be excellent, you go be precisely perfect. I'm just snipping off the little thread, giving a bit of a haircut. Okay, I'm just going to put that over there, clean that up later. Okay, so that one, and that one. And so now this is like ready to go, and this is exactly what I did for the butterflies I made. 2 different pieces. Oh, well, that's they the same? I think that's the same material. Looks like that's what that would be. But I had 2 rectangle pieces of material that I just did running stitch all along, and that was it. So then you just do your folds again. So depending how you fold it will depend on which side has the patterns. So your wings, when they come out, like one side will show these patterns and one side will show that. So it's up to you. I think from memory, I can't remember exactly. Just little bits. Get that off. Okay. I think having it face down will be what shows in these bits here, but I could be wrong. I just did it with paper before I came on here. I didn't actually do it with double-sided paper or material. So what we want to do is fold it like so, and then again same thing, exactly same as the paper one, and then we want to get that folded edge, and we want to, now obviously with it being material, it is a lot floppier, so you do need to finagle a bit more. But you see it still works completely exactly the same as doing it with fabric and with paper. And then you want to, when we're making our little triangle on legs like this, I love that I can make this material, because I have shoe boxes filled with these that my kids had made me. I did string a whole heap of them up and have like little garlands for a while, but I put some aside to save, because of course when they're hanging out, do I want to pin that, or I might use a clip for that middle bit. So that's the triangle with its little leggies. See, denting legs. Okay, so you can see it's not exactly folding precise, and I do know origami is all about preciseness, so apologies if this is offending any origami people. This is a slow stitched piece, so I'm okay with it being a little bit wonky. Okay, so then when you have that all sorted, you know what, that side's coming out a bit longer, and I'm not sure why. Just is. Okay. Yeah, just is. And I'm going to be okay with that. So I might just to stop it all flopping around, just big pin and just pin one side just down, so then you know we've got this bit to work with. So we just do exactly the same thing, is we're going to bring this front of the leg down. And remember, we don't want to fold any of the opposite side while we're working on one side. And you want to pinch it at that center junction and then bring it down and then push that middle bit to make the wing. Now, if you wanted to, before you do the folding part, you can, if you don't want raw edges, you can whip stitch, blanket stitch, put a binding around it. However you want to finish the material, it will look amazing. However you do it, just that my one piece of advice is just don't decorate it so much it's impossible to fold. So I'm just pinning that in place, and you can see where, like, exactly it. I did get it wrong with the pattern, so whatever's facing down is actually going to be the inside of the wings. Whatever's facing up will be the middle bit and the outside of the wings. So I remembered that wrong, but that's okay because we know now. So now we just do the other side, so pinching that bit in the middle and then bringing that down, and we want to it does take a bit of finagling with the material, and because my sides were a bit uneven, so you can see this bit here is even, but that's a bit longer, and I'm not sure why it's doing that, because you saw me cutting the rectangle. It was exactly how it's supposed to be, so I don't know why it's doing that particular thing now. So I might just use this clip to hold that bit in instead of shoving another bit in there. And look, so that's essentially your butterfly. So what we're going to do is put some stitches in to make sure it doesn't fall apart on us. See if I can get that a bit more even. So you move one side, just, yeah, with the material not really fold like the same way as paper. It does take a bit of mushing around, so I think that'll hold. I'll just squish that in there. Okay, so now I have my needle and thread. I'm going to put a knot in it because you can hide the knots very easily in this. So now where I want to sew to start with is I'm going to put some stitches right in this. So I'm going to just bring, excuse my arm, just bringing it down a little bit. So I'm going to put some stitches in this middle point here where the two wings meet. So I do have my pin there, but I do want to hide my thread, so I'm actually just going to go in the wing and bring this out, and that'll hide my knot. You won't see that at all. And just pull that all the way in, and then we're just going to do a couple little stitches. Now it's up to you also how much you stitch this down. The more you stitch down, the less 3D it will be. And if you just do a couple little tiny little, like I'm pretty much just going in and out around the same spot. It's not like stitches, it's like more up and down. That way you can poof out the wings a bit more, and we're going to just do that. And where else do I want to stitch? So down here, and put some more in here. So rather than tying off, I'm actually just going to thread it through the middle of that fabrics. So you won't be able to see it running through, but that way I don't have to tie it off and start again. So that way. Okay, so there we go. Right, that's my folded bit, and I've come out just here. So I am going to take just the tiniest little stitches just to stop it from unfolding, as it were, and just up and down in this little spot here. I mean, you could, if you wanted to flatten it out because maybe you're posting it or something, you could completely stitch it down as much as you wanted to. So I'm actually, I I want it to poof out, but I don't want this kind of coming up like that. So what I'm now going to do is, oh, that's gone really uneven there. Oh well. Let's shift it a bit. So sorry. And so you see that is uneven, but this is the back. So unless you're hanging it up like a mobile decoration or hangy thingy, it's not really going to make a big difference. So I should have double checked that before I put the stitches in. So there you go, you can learn from my mistakes. So again, I'm just feeding it through the fabric so you can't see the big stitches, because I do just want to pin, or not pin, but basically you're basting it down. And we're going to, so I've come out kind of here, and I'm going to get all those three. This is a bit of a push. All those 3 layers. So that's why you have to be careful not like making a fabric too dense as well, because you do want to try and sew through it as well. Okay, so we're just doing little kind of a whip stitch here because this has moved and is now uneven. I'm just making sure it doesn't move anymore. There we go. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so, and if you come back to the front, you can see you can have this 3D effect where the wings kind of have this. Or if you wanted to, you could stitch it right down and flatten it out. But it's just, you know, it's just this gorgeous little cute, easy fabric origami inspired butterfly, and it's just great for little hanging decorations, keychains, that kind of thing. So I'm just threading this in the middle of the fabric, the point of the triangle, because what I'll do is try and make that match a bit more. See if I can pull that out so it's uneven on both sides. Okay, so try and even that up a bit. So I'm going to do the same stitching but reverse order. So I started up at this point down here, went to this point here, and then I've moved across the triangle at the back, or like in the middle of the fabric. So now I'm going to like do a little whip stitch to whip all these ones back together, and then we go up again to the middle. There we go. And it's just putting everything in place. That's a bit hard. Just be careful pushing this through. Don't want to give yourself a big stabby. Okay, I'll just do one more. I tend to do 3 stitches to hold it in place. I don't know if you need more, depends what you're using it for. This I think I'll just, you know, probably stick on my monitor or something. It's very pretty. It's turned out really well. like with the Cantha stuff, it's just so it is absolutely also doable with like a piece of craft felt, not the really thick but the kind of cheaper floppy ones, and you don't have to double side it, and you can still do decorative stuff on it. And the good thing with this too is if you don't want to do decorative stitching, once you've stitched kind of the main areas together, you can get glue and glue on like sequins and beads and stuff. It's up to you, but yeah, that's That's down there, and that one, and then we're going to this one up here. So now we will just want to anchor kind of the point where the two wings meet. Oh, whoops, I did it. I'm not going to worry about that. I should have gone in. I am going to worry about it. I won't be able to look at it. Oh. Anyway, yes, so make sure you go through the fabric, not over the fabric. But yeah, the opportunity for just taking it on and going in many different directions. You can play with, you know, I mean, just doing it with papers, like collage papers, jelly printed papers, like we used to do that with the kids. We used to like paint the papers, get all scrap papers. You know, it's like when you had to print off receipts and stuff. And once they weren't needed anymore, we would paint over all the printing stuff and then just cut them up and use them for origami. So, you know, that's, yeah, a way to do it. And it kind of just was like, oh, that looks like, because there's not that many folds. Some of the butterflies people do with the paper are just the most incredible pieces of art, but I haven't even tried to translate that into fabric, to be honest. This one works. So I will just do one more, 3 coming up. So I've sewn down there, down here, and so now we're going to go back to this middle point here. And I want to go into the fabrics, not through. So that's why I like kind of using a really big needle for this, is you can get good amount of distance in one go. And so now we're back at this middle junction here, and we are just going to stitch this up and down again. Actually, I need to go down. On. That's 2, and one more is 3. Now, if you wanted to, if you're going to hang these up and you kind of want them sitting in a specific way, you can just put stitches in wherever you want. You can stitch, I might do it like just a really quick whip stitch along the back, because I found that just kind of helps hold the wings better if this bit's stitched down. So again, I'm just going in the middle of the fabric, just get through there, because I want to go all the way across them in kind of one go, not coming out on the other end. Okay, I have to do that in 2 bits. So you can see there's no stitches. I'm just going between the 2 pieces of fabric just to get to the end. Okay, there we go. So that's the front. You can see the little butterfly, and then we're at the edge here. So I just want to take tiny little bits, because we don't want it coming through at the front. If you want it to, totally fine, but for me this is more securing the back fold to the wings, and you'll find the kind of wings sit up a bit better. And because this is in the back, I'm going to make it as even as possible so it doesn't look too messy, but I'm not bothered about the big stitches being visible. So we just go here like so, and just keep I'll just keep checking the front, make sure I'm not mangling the front in any way accidentally, because that has happened before. And yeah, it's just, this is my take on it. There are other there are other material butterflies and on YouTube. Sorry, I just blanked out what YouTube was called. And so yeah, I'm sure there's other people doing exactly the same thing. Like that just went in my thumb. Like I always say, I'm like not deluded enough to think I'm inventing all these things. Like, people come up with the same things and they can be in completely different countries. So yeah, if you wanted to have a look at different types and styles, there might be a whole bunch. I haven't looked for any different variations of this, to be honest, because I only really did this in August, and I haven't made any since I've been home, to be fair, so I haven't really kind of done a deep dive into what else you can do. I was just sat here going, oh, that's a good idea, because I wanted to do a video for Saturday. So by the time this comes out, it will be Saturday, because it's after midnight, so it's now Saturday. And so I'm just whip stitching that bit. And all the way to the other end. There we go. So you can see how now, I don't know, I was about to show my monitor. You can see now that those wings actually just sitting a lot better. Now there's many options to go from here. You can decorate it, you can put some wires or thicker thread or something to make the little antennae. You can put beads down the middle for its body. They're just options are whatever you would like. So I just thought I'd just show you the basics of what I do when I make these, and hope you can make some and enjoy making them. And they do look very cute with beads down the middle. Actually, I'll pause and go find some. Hang on. Hello, I'm back. I couldn't find my big chunky beads, but I found some. They're not bigger than seed beads. I don't know what these are called. They're bead beads. I wonder if my needle will fit through them actually. Nope. Okay, I have to get a new needle. I should have worked that out. I think that's exactly the same needle. But you're a big needle too. You look thinner. Just try you. I should try before I thread, because there's no point of, no, that won't go through. Okay, I'm going to pause again, find a needle. Okay, back again. I've found a nice small needle that hopefully all these lovely beads can go through. So I'm just gonna see which one will. Yep. Okay. Sorry if I was off screen for that bit. Just in case people haven't put beads on before. So I've just threaded the bead. You see the bead onto my thread, and I haven't bothered changing thread at all, so I'm just doing a stitch up to where I was. I'm not bothering with going through the back because it's unnecessary. This is just kind of just putting it on, and then I'm going to put my thread down below that bead just so that's nice and secure, and grab another bead. And I'm not worrying about patterns or colours. I can't see where the hole is for that one. Let's move on to a different one. Oh, this is the one. Can we work with you? Yes. And now there's a nice white one. And so I just basically am doing a back stitch to under where the bead's going to sit, and then I'm going back under and doing a stitch. Now there's probably a billion different ways to sew beads on. I have no idea if that way's correct. Doesn't matter. It's if the bead stays on, that's the whole purpose, so we're good with that. Let's have a look at this nice pinky one. Will that fit on my... Oh, it does. So there's a little pink one, so you can see just, you know, it's gonna imitating the body of the butterfly, as it were, and it's just cute. If you wanted to, each time you could go up through all the other beads, which I've just decided to do just then, and then I'm going all the way down to where I want the next bead. There we go. And let's see, shall we do another one? I like this. Do we have blue one? No. Where's the hole for that one? I have discovered sometimes, oh there it is, found it, that sometimes you get blobs of glass and not actually a bead per se. Okay, so I'm doing the back stitch under like this, and then, I mean, you could also just go through just that one. Might put a couple more on before I go through the whole body, because that'll help line it up nicely. Although as you know, I don't mind higgledy-piggledy at all. Let's see, this nice dark pinky one. Will you fit? Wait, oh. This is a good there we go. And then a back stitch. You still see that? I know the colors are a bit crazy because I've got the patterns on the material. What I'm going to do is come down under that one, because I actually sewed that one a little bit too higgledy-piggledy. So I am going to come up through all of them at once, because I kind of accidentally twisted the blue bead. Oh, it doesn't want to work that way. So not all, but all in one stitch, even if you can't get it all in the first go, if that makes sense. Here we go. So you could go the whole way down, which I'm not going to do. I'm actually going to stop there. I'm going to take a little stitch up the top here. I might put another bead up this top. Let's see. I'm liking this big oblongy shape one. So I'll put this up at the top, and that could be like just poking over the tip of the fold. So this is like a little head almost. And I'm going to go through the bead, and then down under it again and pull nice and tight. And then, because I've decided to add another bead, I'm just going to go back all the way through all the beads, if it will let me, because I've been through quite a few times already. That blue one's struggling. Okay, so maybe just go to those. And so now it's just about securing these, can I get through the blue bead? I can if I try to do it on its onesie. And the last one there. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Got like a bit of a odd shaped one here. It's kind of like the head, and it's peeking over the back fold there, and a little body. And so I'm going to do little stitches under the last bead, so they're not that visible, but securing that end as well. I might go over that bead, kind of almost couching it down. And one more. There we go. And I'm actually going to, rather than snip it close to where the beads are, I'm going to thread put my thread through and come out there. Snip that off, and that'll just be in the middle of the fabric. So there you go. You see it's decorating, and I've noticed I've got two little buttons here. So you can, I was going to put them on, but that looks like scary eyes, so I'm actually not. But if you had, oh hang on, there's sequins here. Oh, hello. Yes, we're doing that right now. So I'm just going to put a little knot in here. And again, going through the middle of the fabrics, and because I have the raw edges, I can just go through easy enough. I'm going to pick the point where I want my sequin to be, and then we're going to do that. Can you still see? Yep. That, and I'm going to do one stitch like this to just anchor it, and then we have this, I think there's beads in here. There's the bugle beads. There's another round bead. I like the round beads. That's a black one. Do I have one that's matching? No. So what can I do? There's a lot of these little like cut shapes. They're not round, so we're just going to now anchor the bead on there. Go through the bead and there. I am going all the way through this time to the back. Just going to take the tiniest thing, and I'm actually coming under the sequin, so then I can do like a couple little back stitches to secure it, and then we'll go do the other side. Snippy snip, and so then you've got little cool decoration. You could put someone there as well, but for the sake of not making this too long, I hope you found it helpful, and you want to go and make butterflies. Thank you for joining me today. I like making craft videos, and if you're watching, I'm very grateful. I'm going to do another sequin here, sort of kind of in the same area. Do an anchor stitch for the sequin, and then we'll get it a bead. Oh, why aren't you going? Can't find the hole in this one. There we go. Alright. And then we want a cut bead, so a funky shape one Do we want to try and match colours? No, not really. We'll just get on the same size. Okay, and then another ink ring stitch. Yeah, there we go. And we're going all the way through to the back. And then lifting up sequin. And then coming through under the sequin to do a couple of little back stitches. There we go. And we snip. And there is our little slow stitched 3D origami inspired butterfly. Woo. With beady body, sequins, looks like shiny eyes. They're very glary. But there you go, that's your butterfly. So hope you have fun. Hope you make lots of butterflies. And I hope you have a good day, weekend, whatever. And I will see you on the next video. Okay, take care. Bye. Oh, I just dropped that very unceremoniously.